And welcome back once again to the PCS Summer 2022. We're closing out Week 4 in style here. The matchup of FAK Esports taking on J-Team. But before we get to that, one final time, I would like to shout out our wonderful sponsor, CTBC Bank. Because, of course, they aren't only Taiwan's top financial institution. They're not stopping there. They're looking for a title as well. CTBC Flying Oyster looking solid. But about this game, Clement, J-Team, they've been flying high as well. FAK Esports, they're searching for a win because they got, I want to say, a little handled by Jewish Team yesterday.
They definitely were, and I hate coming back to this, but it's still the same sort of problems on FAK Esports. If they win, they usually do it through top lane, and then they dominate their opponents by just crushing them through individual play. But when they're slightly behind, we don't see them really put up that much of a fight in terms of comeback. I would say the team lacks a bit of that spark, lacks a bit of that veterancy when it comes to initiations. That has kind of been the problem that's plagued them for very long. And today we are going to be seeing their old support, K2 or Karis, the split, come back into the sporting role to kind of fill up that niche.
Yeah, trying to dial things in a little bit and get a little bit more maybe calm, cool, collected options for themselves. We'll see if FAK Esports can find the victory. I think if you are going to look for success, look no further than YSCam up in the top side has had nothing less than a stellar debut in this team, but they still have struggled to find some of the wins. I think Eminem's still a very solid player down on that bottom side. He should be okay. I'm a little more worried about Holo and Pretender. It isn't all about individuals, though. As you mentioned, it is all about the coordinated effort that this team still struggles to showcase consistently.
They are a late game team that wins through early game, so I don't think they're
very unintuitive, but yeah, their drafts have not really matched their actual win conditions. I'm just put it that way. I think it's a very poignant and easy way to kind of understand the current problems of this team. They're immensely talented, but they still have not found a win against the J-Team Universe or PSG. So I feel like they need to materialize that potential. Yeah, on the other side, Type A J-Team, they're sticking with Rock in that top side, Konge in the jungle, of course. Joining him is Uniboy at mid, Lil V and Enzo. And this is a team that's just like start to finish. There's just so much talent on this roster. But yesterday, it was the Uniboy show. Man can carry.
They actually had a bit of a hard time against Sem9, but Uniboy 1v3'd at the end. He always just shut down No Name. Uniboy, this split is, I think he can really do it all. You give him the tempo champions, he will crush you. And if he doesn't get the tempo, he's actually perfectly happy to play for the late game scaling carries as well. I think this is Uniboy's probably his best split so far in our region in terms of just the diversity and power he brings to the table. On the other hand, you also have Rock playing today, which is, I think it's interesting because he's pretty much been on sort of very similar to Leaky duty, but he's just strictly game playing instead. So I want to see what YSCam can do against the gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about smashing early, right? I think that's what you need to do because you cannot let the gangplank just get out of control. Maybe you try to ban it. I don't know. We're going to compare the two top laners, though. That is going to be the big deal here as YSCam has just had such a stellar debut, but he is going to be going up against a very experienced player in Rock. Maybe not quite as experienced as Driver, but still. And look at the difference in the solo kills. 13 for YSCam. That's in 11 games. He averages a solo kill and then some per game.
Yeah, that's absolutely nuts. He got 3 against Sem9 and just in one game against the Tower Dive. He's been able to take on basically everyone in the league. The way that people have defeated FAK Esports have not actually been through taking down YSKM. It's been through just teamfight coordination rather than taking him down as an individual. So far, it doesn't even seem possible. I really want to see YSCam blind pick the Fiora. I feel like that is the champion that actually has the greatest sort of counter potential towards something like a Gameplank.
Hasn't lost on it in the one game they played, so we'll see if that's the order of the day. Frank respecting it, they banned the GP. I do like the Poppy ban by J-Team as well, even though they were the ones that honestly first to bring it out.
Yeah, I feel like Poppy is, it's interesting here. I think Kongrye plays Poppy, but his team doesn't need Poppy most of the time. I'll just put it that way, because you see Uniboy just running in with him, and a lot of times I feel like they're actually better served with something like a Viego, which has a little bit more reset potential. Their bot lane's usually ahead anyway. So I'm not surprised that they banned that away, but they are leaving a lot on the table right here. Most critically, we have Eminem on Zeri. That one is wide open for him to take if he wants it.
Yeah, Zeri left open multiple times today. It has punished the squads that have done it, with the Azir being banned. I think this is the obvious choice here for Frank Esports, as J-Team just prioritized other stuff.
And we have seen J-Team really like the Aphelios compositions. They can play multiple supports with it. We've seen it paired up with the Tahm Kench, with the Renata Galask. So Aphelios is definitely more of the, I would say, a little V's favor. Oh, this is interesting. Starting the draft off with a Yuumi. Now, Yuumi plus Zeri has been a very strong combination. It could just be a takeaway, but typically when you see Yuumi compositions, it's usually very Bruiser-esque compositions. Bruisers are the champions with the gap closers, with the individual fighting power, and they usually have enough sustain. So if you stack a little bit more sustain, you give them the zoomies, they can give you even more rewards.
You certainly can. I think that J-Team have some tools to work with. Let's see what they add to it. The Silas comes out for Pretender here. I was curious about this one, as the Ahri has been a big champion for him, and with the Azir banned away, what he would dip into goes back onto the Silas. So, what is Frank going for next is the question.
Yeah, a lot of the strong junglers are still open right here. I think Viego is probably the best takeaway, given that Kongya and Uniboy love to play Viego plus Ahri. That's kind of their best combo. So I think the takeaway definitely in order. Not the strongest combination by any means coming in from Frank Esports' side, but they're already setting up great scaling, very strong if snowballed. While J-Team also going for more of a tempo-esque composition right here. The Kiana's an interesting pick, but I feel like it's a little bit too early.
Whoa! We got the cat in the rat. We've seen this one. This is a counter. This is what happened a patch or so ago, and I like this in the hands of Lil V and Enzo. I think there's a reason they left this area open.
I have seen this combo quite a few times. If Twitch gets ahead, then it can be a hard snowball. You just pop up right next to Zeri. If she's not close to a wall, she almost gets instant bursted. You can also have, you could start off the Yuumi skills while invisible as well. Just catch people completely off guard with that one. So very strong combination. However, it's fairly risky. I'm not sure Little V is gonna play face first with this Twitch. It's definitely gonna be a new role for him.
So the Fiora is banned away by J-Team, just fully recognizing that YSKM could blind that. I think there's a lot of options still available, right? If he wants to get a jump on, I mean, there's always the Jax, there's the Camille, Aurelia is an option. Even as a Kennen game that they wanted. Yeah, banning the Jax makes a lot of sense. I think this is respect shown towards the rookie top laner.
And J-Team are still going to have a first pick, so if they want to take away the Gnar as just kind of a safe answer here, they can. I don't think they mind playing against a potential Camille, if that does end up being the case. For Frank Esports, I like these bans. They are definitely afraid of the snowball potential, so they're banning away. Yeah, they're banning away all the strong sort of hard crowd control champions coming in here, but they did leave the Wukong off the table. Wukong has been taking a bit of a dive here. I didn't expect the Nimbus Cloud nerfs to hit him this much, but the clear speed definitely has negative impacts on him. He feels a lot weaker than he did in the previous patch.
I still think Kongya is a player that can have a pretty outsized impact with those double cyclones. Frank Esports, they're going to add a Rakan to the mix here, joining the Zeri down on the bottom side. J-Team got a full menagerie on this comp. Yeah. It's animals and mythical figures. I like it. I
love how easy it is for Yuumi to reposition on this composition. You have two people that can go invisible, and you have Ahri that has potential for 8 dashes in a team fight. So it should be no problem catching people out.
All right, Camille blind. That's the YSKM pick. See what Rock ends up trying to deal with it on the opposite side. You know, there was a time when we would see that, like a Fiora, like straight up gauntlet thrown counter, but it's banned, so not gonna happen. Doesn't feel like a maybe the most rock-style champion either. Sejuani, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Try to get your extra engage on. There we go. Yeah, there's an animal in every lane. It's a full zoo comp.
You've got the pig, you've got the fox, the cat,
the monkey. It's a Zodiac.
Yeah,
Let's go.
It actually has a good theme here as well. I will say that a lot of these champions are not actually in the Zodiac, especially the fox and the cat.
No, that's true. No,
It's pretty,
but
pretty close, pretty close.
I tried to make it work.
I know. There is a theme here, and J-Team is all about getting these sudden engages out of nowhere. It's very difficult to prevent them when they go invisible. It's not technically invisibility on the Twitch, but camouflage. You can just pop out of nowhere, catch people out with Enzo here. And for Frank Esports, they're actually running a very similar composition. It is also a pick composition as well. You got the Camille and Rakan coming out. So usually what happens in these type of scenarios is whoever gets the first strike in gets the numbers advantage and gets to snowball through the game. So it really is a test to see how proactive Frank Esports can get.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to execution for sure. And Frank Esports, if they can get this win, I think this certainly is going to be not only a booster for them, but also it kind of puts a lot of the other teams on notice, which Frank have been struggling. If they can get a victory over J-Team in this type of kind of head-to-head pick and snowball, I think that makes a pretty strong statement. Ripples across the league. For J-Team, they're just trying to keep pace, right? They are a very strong team, but every other squad at the top of the table, minus Beyond Gaming, gets a win today. They need to try and stay on top of it, as they are still looking to lock in playoff seeds. We'll be able to do it next week, of course, if they keep on winning. So I think both teams, honestly, have quite a lot to play for. I mean, yeah, it's the regular season. You're trying to stack the wins, but high stakes across the board, and an interesting pick ban as well.
I will say early on, I do feel like J-Team have advantages across most of their lanes. Sejuani versus Camille, not a whole lot that Camille can do early, to be honest. And in the bot lane, this is known as somewhat of a soft counter against Zeri, because mobility doesn't work against Expunge. Expunge just follows you wherever you go. I feel like J-Team is going to come off to a good start, because all three of their lanes, in a technical aspect, all should be coming out slightly ahead.
Yeah, that's going to be a little tough for Frank. They need to find an angle when their wins in lanes have usually been the way to play, even if they don't draft for it. For J-Team, they can trust that they have advantages across the map. Not to mention a jungler that, even on this nerf Wukong, is known for having an incredible impact in the game. I think Holo's going to need to step it up. I think he's really been struggling this split.
Oh, for sure. I feel like Holo's role has always been, he's less of an engage specialist, but more about just holding his lane steady. That has typically been the way he plays. He's had some good games on tank champions in the past, stuff like Zac and stuff, but it hasn't been all that common that those champions actually exist in the meta. So I feel like he would be better served playing in another season. But yeah, we can't really pick that. I don't think this is exactly his best meta. That's what I'm saying.
No, that's for sure. I think Kongye is loving it, though, so that could be a difference maker. On to the Rift we go. Looks like we will get a bit of a vertical start. Red buffs across the way.
And we also already have some cheekiness starting with the level 1 here. We have seen Twitch just pop out at you level 1, get your stacks down.
Can't happen.
He's a great trader.
Uh-oh. Yeah, carries, they don't see them. They know something's up. Here we go, Twitch coming in. Just going to get the farm on, though, and...
Eminem even trying to find him here.
Wait.
Here
the flank! Level 1, it's on! Oh, man, Lilby, you've been doing a dodge on the Battlelands nicely. They forced the exhaust early. What an aggressive start for J-Team. Let's see if they do get punished for it, though. That's a little low on the health bars. So Eminem and Karius chase him off.
Both sides do have to swap around with the... do have to use their potions, but I do want to remind everyone that J-Team is actually coming in with an additional combat summoner. You do have exhaust here on Enzo. Ooh.
They get the knockout. This one is going to land onto Enzo. He's solo. First blood. Claimed by Eminem. The level 2 holo gank pays off.
Yeah, and I feel like J-Team probably went a little bit too aggressive on the first one. It was really, honestly, quite a telegraphed play from Holo. They know that they started his red, so I feel like J-Team needed to drop the wards down quite a bit faster in that situation.
Yeah, cheeky play definitely punishes them here. So with first blood, again, we're seeing the trend. Leave Zeri open, get punished by it. Should I be worried?
Yeah, meanwhile, in the top lane, actually have YSCam starting out really well against the Sejuani. I'm a little bit surprised about that one. Typically, the Sejuani early level trading is just so hard. She basically has a double passive on her initial passive, so to speak. So very difficult to outtrade that, but YSCam doing a good job here. And I think, Frank Esports could just continue to crunch down on this bottom side. The problem about running double combat sums and only having one flash on a Twitch is you are very vulnerable to repeat ganks.
Yeah, that is the problem, right? Like they've got almost nothing in terms of combat, or in terms of summoners. It's just the Ignite from Enzo. That being said, Eminem is only on cleanse as well. So if Konga gets involved here once he gets his clear going, that's an opportunity. And yeah, we're seeing YSCam just over and over again, just great trades into Rock. He's probably not going to go for an all-in anytime soon. He would need his ult for that. Rock also has Ignite, trying to dissuade him, but keeping the Sejuani down, getting yourself ahead, that's something you can certainly look to do.
Really nicely done right here. And Frank Esports, actually, all of their lanes doing better than I initially imagined. This is just the power of Frank.
Absolutely. Somewhere out there, Nightstar is very proud.
YSCam, these precision protocol trades are just beautiful to watch. Gets the shield down, gets the poke, takes nothing down here. Pretender going over the minion wave on the initial trade.
Oh, great in there. That's going to be the charm landing as Uniboy forces him back. I mean, this is a great Silas play to Pretender as well into Uniboy.
Yeah, and I'm actually really surprised. This is not typically how these lanes actually go.
We were saying there were 3 winning lanes for J-Team. I mean, the bot, I understand. They overplay their hand a little bit, but yeah.
Very impressed by this so far. I think this changes the calculus quite a bit. We were talking about all of the initiation potential and this sort of knife fight situation where it's about who can get the first strike in. And if you can leave your lane earlier, that definitely gives you the first strike. So Frank Esports could start to snowball quite unexpectedly.
I think you're right. Yeah, it's already 1,000 gold lead at 5.5 minutes. And now first blood's part of that, but still, you have opportunities. So teleports match topside as they get right back into it. Still a pretty good lead for the Camille. In the mid lane, you see Pretender zoning Uniboy away. The mana difference is pretty big right now. Like 6 is dinged for both, but they're both going to have a Spirit Rush. There we go. Frank goes in. That's going to be Holo. Looking for a play. Chain Lash lands. He steals the Spirit Rush. No kill, but they could transition to a Dragon.
I like how Pretender actually held on to that one for a very, very long time. He knew Uniboy had the opportunity to use it as well. He wanted to wait for it to keep the hijack there for the secondary trade, as we just saw him try to find the hit right there. Would have had a potential to burst him down. Doesn't get it. Frank Esports off to the races now. Just getting the strong bot lane win. Trading in the mid lane. Forcing out the ultimate from Uniboy. So no threat on this play whatsoever. Incredibly strong stuff.
And a huge lead in the farm down bottom side. Just this 2v2 is turning brutal right now for J-Team. And this is the Frank strategy. This is how they win games. They just smash their lanes.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. This is,
yeah. I don't think J-Team know what to say. Rock just needed a trade. That's nice.
Huh? Really nicely done by forcing Camille onto the wall, holding on to the W right there, waiting for him to tag as he comes down off of it. So, Rock finding his way as well. And I do want to point out that Rock does have that Ignite. So, he definitely could get a double stun chain down onto YSKM. Now, that's 20% of your max HP right there. And then you throw the Ignite in. Sejuani is extremely powerful in the top lane just because her kill threshold is incredibly high.
absolutely. I think J-Team can at least up there breathe a sigh of relief. It's the other lanes they've got to watch out for. You know, Uniboy is forced down a little bit. You can see Holo waiting around as well if you want to get a play. Konge's there too, though. And bottom is just, it's that level 1, cheeky level 1 really turned into a farm disaster.
Yeah, they had step 1, but nothing after that. Karis is going to be completely fine here. However, this is when I think things start to get really dangerous once you have Uniboy with the Spirit Rush up. There's always a potential that Yumi could just fly in. We have seen Yumi Wukong very common as a great trading pattern here. Rock again, wow, what a beautiful use of the W, just moving across the wall, denying the hook shot, but Korea comes in.
Hold up. Yeah, we got 2 fights. It looks like Lil V's going to be going down in that bottom side. Meanwhile, Rock going to join the fight here. Frank, they come up with a little bit of an opener as Pretender goes down, Konge follows, and Uniboy caught in the Hex Step ultimatum as YSCam is going to be able to take him down. The charm lands from Pretender, I wanted to say. It does go down. Oh, no, he was already out of that one. It was Holo. Excuse me. Too many people can steal ults in this game, or steal abilities.
That was a 1
like,
for 4.
who did that? Yeah.
In
big,
total.
big play for Frank.
Ooh, we had the bot lane solo that was Little V falling down to Eminem, and then the initial trade looked good, but unfortunately Uniboy actually misses his charm on a knocked up target, which allows Frank Esports to kite back here, get even more time. We'll watch the bot lane trade again. This is, unfortunately, Eminem doesn't even need to land the W to just chase down Little V at this point.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. Little V trying to play with the expunge, but unable to get the last auto attack. Did he use that one? He might have used it a little bit too early there.
Yeah,
and oh, boy.
So yeah, Frank are what did you say? Snowballing? Yeah, that's definitely happening right now. YSCam getting a kill. Everybody's getting a kill except carries, I suppose, but that's honestly kind of the ideal situation. Eminem, he's accelerated on this Zeri, has just a big farm lead opened up. Carries can come back down. You got a kill for Pretender, you got a kill for Holo. YSKM gets involved and gets the lockdown. Yeah, oh, this is turning really nice, and I think they drafted themselves some solid stuff. The a couple giveaways there. The Shelly might go. No, okay, charge goes, just barely.
Carrius also spots out the gank here. Really good find. They're not giving Little V any chance to snowball this. I feel like J-Team's only way back into this game is actually just moving out their bottom lane preemptively and setting up for a big fight on the next Herald. I feel like that's kind of their comeback mechanic. If they just stay in lane and take it, I don't see them having a shot.
This win would be huge for Frank Esports. I know we talked about how they had been struggling a little bit yesterday and how J-Team were looking very strong, but like, if Frank get this win, they're 7-5. They're tied with Beyond Gaming for 5th place. Yeah. J-Team dropping 1 down also puts them at 8-4, which means they're in touching distance of both those squads. Like, we were talking about like a top 5 being close, then we're looking at a top 6.
And I think it would take Frank Esports out of pub stomping status. You know, they haven't really been that competitive against our top 5 teams. Just being perfectly honest here. And if they can manage it against J-Team, I think people will give a lot more respect to them. You know, it's not just about objective gaming them and
it changes the calculus.
Exactly.
They have beat Beyond Gaming as well, but I do think like this starts to establish a bit of a pattern. But generally speaking, you're absolutely right. Like, they have struggled very much against the top squads for second split now. Whoop, Tender, okay. Hijacks an ult and gets out of there. Frank going to start up on this Dragon. J-Team, they're not content to let this go by at the moment, so could be challenged. YSCam being bared down upon by Rock, but he hook shots to safety. Plate falls, Eminem gritting that one. Will be opening up. Eminem does not care. 2-level advantage for the Zeri.
Really smart setup here by Frank Esports. They just pushed in the bot lane to make sure where the Twitch was. They didn't want any surprises. And once they find out Little V's position, they start the Drake. That's a textbook play on how to deal with a sneaking little rat around the corners right here. Well done by them. And J-Team do not put up a fight.
Yeah, J-Team are just going to be holding on here as you'll see we get a Cloud Rift this time around. Tender picking himself up a shiny Crowd of the Shattered Queen. All right.
Yeah, I like this build here as well, coming in from Pretender. It's not what you usually see, but they want someone that actually can take a bit of damage from J-Team. As we talked about, J-Team, they're pretty much a burst comp here as well. So Shatter Queen actually worked quite well for kind of the knife fight situation they're in.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense, right? Like, Pretender he's got a lot of gap close. He is, especially if he keeps stealing Uniboy's ultimate, he's basically the front line. I suppose you could say YSKM is too, but, you know, Divine Sunder, he's going to be okay. Like, it's kind of just like a bunch of bruisers bashing heads, and they're going to hope Eminem just, like, absolutely sprays down the damage, and I think it makes sense.
Yeah, good find on his part. We are coming into the point where, okay, this is J-Team's shot. If they don't make it here, I'm very pessimistic they're going to make it at all. They're already pinging onto the top side, so they know that this Herald is going to be the next point of contest. They have that ping into the backside. Now the question is how they actually move their bottom, because I feel like their bottom is so far behind that staying in lane doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You're going to lose either way. You might as well just move out for the next play.
Yeah, I think you're right. Maybe try to, like, just roam the team and see if you can't pick up. You have a, well, plates are about to drop, so that's not an opportunity, but you can maybe try to make a play elsewhere on the map. You see Holo coming in for the wraparound. This could be a gank. Yeah, they see it on the ward and immediately back out. I think J-Team are going to need to find a new strategy, as it's almost certainly going to be first brick coming up.
What? I'm actually so surprised they walked back. What are they doing?
Oh, no. Oh, no. Lil V. Here comes the trap. Tower fire down. They're going to get the teleport. And actually, Frank, they're going to leave. Final chapter does land. They get a root off onto one. Uniboy and Rock both coming in for the play. And it's Uniboy that gets the kill down. They will turn around 1-for-1. But as far behind as they are, you have to feel like that's feeling pretty good for J-Team.
I don't think so. They get one kill, but look at the top side and the Herald.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, if you get a little bit more, maybe it helps. No, Holo flashes away. Pretender now caught up, but nope, that's a turnabout. Once again, Frank on the run. They're just buying time, though. Camille, completely free hitting.
I felt like there was a good trade window here for J-Team to just go top and set up for the Herald, but instead they full commit into the bottom side. They essentially trade... They trade 1-for-1 in the bottom side and give up a free tower plus a free Herald, most likely, on the top side. That definitely puts J-Team in an even deeper hole.
Starting to feel like a sunk cost fallacy here. Lil V gets his mythic. Yeah. Let's see the play. So they clearly something happened. They call for it. They say, hey, we can maybe make this play with the teleport. Frank gets spooked. You know, rightly so. They back away. And it's a 4v4. They get the charm. They get carries, but then they lose Rock, the Pretender. Meanwhile, YSKM is just free hitting.
So I think what happened right there is that they saw Holo in the vicinity, but they didn't expect Pretender to be there too. So they thought they probably had a 4v3. They go down, and they have someone just steal their Sejuani ult and use it against them. So that was a bit of a weird calculation. I felt like that was way too risky from J-Team, and this is the result. Now YSKM is incredibly fed.
Yeah, very much in this game. Frank Esports kind of smashing it on both sides of the map right now. 3,000 gold advantage, 16 minutes, 2 dragons. They'll be able to get another one in about 50 seconds as well. And I guess J-Team could try to steal it away, but you said this is the moment. This is the time window for them to work with it. I mean, how much longer do they have?
I don't think they have a good shot at coming back into this one. And the main reason I say this is because Frank Esports are ahead enough on multiple positions where they have people you can't just burst down. So for J-Team, not only do they have to get a good surround, they also have to get good target selection. That to me seems a little bit difficult at this point. So I just assume that Frank Esports is going to roll them over in terms of objectives and kills in the next couple of minutes. They're almost up to a 6,000 gold lead. And, look at this. Pretender doesn't even care about the laning phase anymore. Like, you hit him with a charm, no damage done.
Yeah, the only thing deceptive about that orb is the damage it does, because almost nothing. So, Frank Esports going to finish what they started here, down to the bottom side. Lil V goes invisible, but I mean, don't care too much. They turn their attention again. Here comes Kong, a big knockup, but Carries is able to do the exact same thing as they will get the kill. Carries goes down in that fight, but Frank is still bringing more friends to the party. Holo takes the damage. They follow through. YSKM looking for the next ultimatum. Lil V is going absolutely nowhere. Uniboy gets Enzo attached to him, but They've chased him well away, and the continued investment in the bottom side by J-Team bites them once again.
The only member that J-Team can kill right now is actually carries. So you see them dump everything into the support, and FAK Esports are honestly just kind of fine with that. They don't really have a retreat. I don't think they can get away from Camille teleporting in, so they did what they had to, but as you can see, it's just a little bit too hard to actually pull off. Eminem does have both summoners up. He's able to use them, get out of harm's way, and once YSKM lands, you kind of know the gig is up. Little V can't get out of the way soon enough. He gets chased down, and that's just the problem I was talking about. These knife fight compositions, once you have one side being sort of unkillable, or at least being able to take a shot, then it typically snowballs very hard.
Now, this game's certainly snowballing pretty hard at the moment. Gold Leaf continues to swell. Not only the tower in the top, but now the bottom knocks down. They keep the lanes covered across the way, and man, Eminem is just banking up the gold. 8,000 is in his pocket.
Yeah, and I hope that J-Team can pull a play together here, but it will be extremely difficult. I think probably the best idea here is actually to punish YSKM. He is pushing in very deep now, and as you can see, he doesn't actually have much ward coverage on the top side of the jungle, so maybe J-Team can pay him a visit. You know, there's a lot of players with bounties right now, so J-Team get a pick from there. They can try and get back into it.
Yeah, I think that's the opportunity. It's not going to be easy. Should always be a chance. Herald's going to be dropped in the mid lane. Will be here along with Uniboy to try and defend, and Enzo, of course, but the 1-3-1 is in full effect. You've got Silas down bot, Camille up top, and Shelly just kind of free charge, so that's okay. Shred that tower down later, and there's really not a good answer for J-Team here, as they'll send the Sejuani top to try and deal with YSKM. Frank zoning him out of the jungle for now.
Really smart play by FAK Esports. They're just showing that they have people inside the jungle. They can deny them the shorter route, and they're just moving Eminem between lanes, giving him a couple shots here and there. And it's going to be up to J-Team to stop this one. J-Team has to be the ones to go, okay, this is it.
We're going. There you go for it. Lightning crashes on, but that's still the shutdown. Lil V manages to get a kill and dings 11 off the back of it, so big play for J-Team, desperately needed.
Yeah, beautiful stuff here. They know Eminem has both of his summoners down. They go directly in for him, and we finally saw the Menagerie combo. You have Ukon, invisibility, and then you follow that up with the final chapter to secure the kill onto Eminem. Great play right there. I think FAK Esports, you know, they could have played a little bit further back or waited for Silas to actually force two members to show right there. I think Silas is actually completely safe, even against 1v2. So a little bit too hasty from FAK Esports, giving J-Team that small opportunity.
Now they are right back on the mid lane push. I'm gonna think twice a little bit about that. So much invisibility on the J-Team side when you think about it, right? Yeah, you got Kongia, you got Lil V, and Enzo can just attach himself to somebody. So it's kind of hard to see this team coming.
Definitely, incredibly difficult, and I think that's what FAK Esports needs to remember, that their 1-3-1 is actually very fragile in the mid lane, just because of how quick J-Team can pull off an initiation, kill everyone, and then just move to other places. So I think what FAK Esports need to do is that their 1-3-1, their three-man mid has to lag behind quite significantly, and you want to have a V shape on the map. You want the Camille pretty far up, you want the Silas pretty far up, but the three-man in the mid lane has to be further back a little bit.
Oh yeah. J-Team recognizing moment of opportunity, do take it, snag a little bit of tempo back for themselves, but they're gonna have to make some use of it in a minute. It is actually a very, very early soul point here for FAK Esports. The Cloud Soul available. It's gonna be at 23 minutes.
Yeah, and this just means that there is going to be an Elder fight before I feel like posting J-Team.
It's the first time today.
I don't think J-Team is going to have enough damage before the Elder go. Like, this is a team that, if you look at the itemization, they're going burst, but I don't think that they're going to hit 3 item marks before that. FAK Esports is still going to be relatively dominant, so I think Frank can just walk in for this one. It should be a relatively easy turn and burn. They just need to make sure that Eminem is not in the front lines. Someone that can tank the damage needs to go up in front, most likely the Silas.
All right, teleport burn by Pretender. They're going to set this one up. Keep your eyes on YSKM wrapping around the side here. J-Team going to try to make it a straight-up 5v5. Charm does land. They actually catch hold of it, forced to flash away instantly, though the Charm comes up, and a big old knock-up as Carries is making the play for his team. Uniboy going to be isolated into the backline. YSKM finishes the job. It's fight on multiple fronts right now. Konge and Rock take down Eminem, but the rest of Frank are here. It's a 3v3 at the moment. Excuse me, make that a 4 as it's Frankie Sports coming up with the edge. They get an extra knock-up. Enzo, the last man standing on the J-Team side, and he will fall.
That was such a cool play from YSKM. He gets the flank around, and then he holds on to the hook shot. He forces out the flash from Little V, and then he goes on to Uniboy to chase down the Ahri. Ahri doesn't even get a chance to flash out of the Hextech ultimatum. They get the soul. What a fun way to close out a critical team fight.
Absolutely. Oh, and it's looking like a fun way to close out week 4 of the PCS here, Clement. If this happens, if Frank Esports win this, we have 100% blue side win rate today.
Oh, you are absolutely right. We're going to watch this again. I feel like Holo was definitely not supposed to hang on around there, but J-Team cannot fight on top of the ramp. You see Uniboy right there, forcing Little V back, and then going up to finish off Ahri. Eminem goes a little bit too far, but it's okay since they still have the Camille for the chase down right here. It does end up being a full ace for Frankie Sports.
Yeah, that was great. Honestly, YSKM doing his best Spider-Man there, just swinging in to save the day. That was just good team fighting. And this is what we keep talking about, Frank, right? Like, they smash lanes, they get ahead. Some of those things were gifted to them, but, like, it's just how they win. Very talented team. Very strong players. The coordination's there when they're on the up and up.
Absolutely, and I think they're learning their lessons a little bit better. Konge coming in.
There we go. Oh, Konge getting bursted down for just a little bit, but the clone comes out. Doesn't matter. They find him anyways. They take down Little V, splatting the rat and looking for more as Uniboy is dashing to safety, but I don't think his base is going to be safe for very long. 25 minutes. They clean up that fight, and it's Baron time for Frank.
This is probably the worst thing that could have happened here. Frank Esports are going to be able to chain up this Baron. It's going to be very close, but they essentially can chain Baron into the Dragon Soul, which means map control into major objective. It forces J-Team to have a play right now. Like, if J-Team doesn't find anything, I think it's a little bit too easy for Frank Esports to run into it. You see J-Team are definitely trying. Kongyue trying to get a fake out here. They find the charm onto the front line earlier on for Polo, but he does have that Heartbreaker. Just gets out of dodge, and in comes YSK and then Pretender swooping in from the sides.
Oh man, yeah, Pretender just making the Stolen Spirit Rush do so much work. Isolates Uniboy, deletes Lil V. There really wasn't anything they could do, so even though Konge gets a good setup, there's no follow-up there. 26 minutes. This is J-Team. I feel like it's their last stand.
It is. It definitely is. They need to find a catch right here, right now. I think they're doing a good job at death rushing this. This is exactly what they need to do, and in they go.
And long range. All right, we're going to see if this game ends one way or the other very, very soon. They needed the damage. They didn't quite find the kill pick. And now, Frank, they've reassembled the death ball. Oh, boy. That's unfortunate for J-Team.
Yeah, this build from Pretender is just way too smart. He goes for the extra defenses right there, the anti-burst potential, and then you also have carries flying in. Doesn't even need to burn his ultimate to keep everyone alive here. So if you look across the board, this is J-Team without any engages left. They are just sitting ducks.
You can see how low Konge was in that one. Ultra Shock Laser starting to do some serious damage, and with the Baron empowered minions, I feel like this inner turret's not long for the Rift as well. Oh, Lil V almost half his health bar in one go.
Oh, just Zeri doing Zeri things right there, and
just ban Zeri. This champion's too busted, man. I don't care how many times they nerf it.
Unclear. Leave Zeri open. Try to counterpick with Twitch.
I mean, like, I will say a lot of this stems from that early, the level 1 that just went horribly wrong. Like, I hate to say it because you shouldn't get punished that hard for your mistakes, but it was 2 mistakes, leaving Zeri open and then doing that.
Yeah, they just didn't anticipate the level 2, which I feel like was pretty telegraphed anyway. Like, I think J-Team thought about plan A, but they didn't have a plan B to go to after plan A didn't work out the full way. Didn't have the war down. So, yeah, a lot really just snowballed from that fact. But the other lanes also are very far ahead. Far further ahead than they should be in most situations.
YSKM did a great job solo, Pretender.
Yeah. I really expected Sejuani to have a better presence in lane early, but that didn't happen against Camille. Same thing happened.
I thought Uniboy would do the same against Pretender, but I mean, he got shown up today. Like he giveth, he taketh away, I suppose.
Yeah, Pretender actually found 2 abducts earlier on in the trade, so just chunked Uniboy to the point where they actually see the same sort of dominance coming in from Ahri.
Well, and the hijack is so good when you're facing down an Ahri, when you're trying to get the, you just completely turn that strategy against them. Like the fact that Pretender can just sit on the front line, stick to people, chase them away, while Eminem is just bursting while YSKM is chasing. Like, it's great. They just kind of like, it's just the continuous dive. It just keeps on giving, and meanwhile Eminem can follow because he's Zeri.
And I do want to celebrate the fact that we saw 3 different Silas builds in back-to-back Silas games.
It's true.
I think is giving him a lot of potential as just a mid lane champion because he can fit so many different situations. He's anti-burst front line one game, he's catch with the Everfrost, the more standard build the other, and then we also saw a tier build into, I believe, Leandri's into a more like damaging build later on. So very interesting adaptations here.
Jimmy, and eat your heart out. Hope he's doing well over there, North America, Thieves Academy. But back here in the PCS, looking good for Frank Esports closing out this week. Now,
here's the turnaround. The Elder Dragon can change things.
This is it. I said final stand earlier. I think this truly is. Uniboy gets his ultimate stolen. YSKM, keep your eyes on that man, the rookie top laner. J-Team certainly are.
All right, here's my prediction. Kongre gets a steal on Elder, and then they flip a 13,000k deficit. Let's go, J-Team.
All right, well, that would be one hell of a feat, but we have seen J-Team do some pretty crazy things. Elder started up. YSKM looking for the opening. Have to keep our eyes. The camera has to fly high here. There's a lot of stuff happening in the moment. And the Dragon doesn't know which direction to go. Nobody wants to commit to it. J-Team looking to set up a brush.
I think Frank are just playing for the cutoff here. They definitely have the raw stats to just go. I don't even think they need to use
the mini waves.
It's just a turn and burn for them.
Hanging on to that Spirit Rush does mean Pretender is a constant threat here. YSKM is going to rejoin his team. J-Team didn't present much of a target, but look at the waves. Huge stack up top. J-Team have to deal with that.
J-Team need to fight their way out of this.
Here comes Rock.
Here they go.
Charm. They do land. That's going to be one. They managed to delete carries up the map. Do they have any more? Oh boy, it's Kongre falling into Lil V. It seems that J-Team have run out of steam. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, only Uniboy remaining, but for how longer? Not very, as he goes golden. And yeah, not much you can do there. Teleport in 31 minutes, no Elder, no problem. Frank Esports going to shut the door.
That was pretty much the perfect scenario for J-Team. They pick off Karis, the only target that they can, right off the bat. He doesn't get his exhaust down, he doesn't even get the quickness, but it doesn't matter. Frank Esports, 13,000 gold ahead. They don't even touch the Elder, going straight for the finish. They finally get a win against our top 4 in the PCS.
Absolutely well-deserved. Frank Esports improved to 7-5 at the end of week 4 here. And things are very spicy in the top half of the bracket.
Did feel like that Twitch plus Yumi combo, probably a bridge too far. It really did blow up in their faces. The level 1 was a little bit tragic. And then they stayed around for that play in the bottom lane, burning 2 teleports to try and get a comeback. They trade 1 for 1 and give YSKM a free tower. So I just feel like I feel like the points where J-Team could have turned this game around, they actually went for some really greedy gameplay. They didn't try to give up on objectives and force for more. We're going to be taking a look at the last team fight. Pretty much the best scenario for J-Team possible. They get a kill right off the bat, but Pretender with the prediction here actually catches Little V after the flash. How did he do that? Sends Little V to an early grave, and the fight's instantly over.
I'm gonna make a bold claim here, Clement.
Okay.
I think Carries deserves MVP for being bait. Holy moly, that was some bait.
Have
yeah,
we ever
Frankie
given
Sports.
bait to MVP to bait?
I mean, I think you should. Like, he was the most valuable bait on that one for sure. But Frankie Sports, this has got to be such a massive boost for them. Like, they just lost yesterday to the Jewish team, and now they've come back against one of the top squads in the PCS, gotten themselves further up the standings. They look great. They're in the top half at this point of the teams. And yeah, they did it in the Frankie Sports way. They smashed lanes. They can't always count on that, but hey, if it works, it works.
This beautiful stuff coming in from Frankie Sports. I feel like a lot of it just came from lane outplay once again, but the itemizations here were definitely on point. I love that Crown of the Shattered Queen coming in for the side of Pretender. He knew exactly what his role needed to be in these team fights, and the flanking potential from YSKM was also so pretty as well. I really think you're seeing this team take more steps to right their wrongs. They know they haven't been the strongest team in terms of getting these initiations off, trapping other teams, but this time they played with pose, with a lot of strategy, and with a lot of patience as well, waiting for J-Team to kind of put themselves in bad positions.
Yeah, I really liked the multiple flank angles. Like, this is a team that very clearly has been studying how well to play around terrain, especially on these neutral objectives. And yeah, Pretender, like, we've seen this before on champions like Vex, but rather than going in for, like, the burst all or nothing assassins, now he's on this, like, tanky stick to you in the backline Silas, and you just cannot get him off. And while you're distracted, well, you're losing the fight on both fronts. Like, I think this was, obviously it was a wallet diff at the end, but that was just such a winning strategy against a team that did not have really that much to tank up once you bypass the Sejuani. So really, really good play across the board. Frank, a well-earned victory. You could see they were always in control from the get-go because that level 1 just completely sunk J-Team's chances in the bottom side. And then the lanes just got outdone. I mean, up top, YSKM doing well into Rock. I don't think that's entirely surprising, but Pretender completely outplaying Uniboy, the hero of yesterday. I think that was big.
Absolutely massive right there. For me, this game, the most important thing was Frankie Sports actually played a very good split pushing game. The 1-3-1 was on point, and Pretender was there most of the time. He gets the MVP 8-1-5 in the kill score, wins his lane against Uniboy, dunks him in the team fights. A well-deserved win, and finally we get a rejuvenation for Frankie Sports. I was so worried that this talented team was gonna fall off their own pedestal, but they saved their grace. They saved their faces in this one.
Absolutely, I think there's a lot to like. You know, we're 4 weeks into the LCS or into the PCS. Excuse me. I've been all over the world apparently today, but yeah, it's impressive to see this team step up, and I think that's very needed. This is the right time for it to be happening. On the J-Team side, you can chalk this one up to a bit of an oopsie. You made a few mistakes. You drafted what looked like winning lanes, but you didn't account on the fact that Frankie Sports just looks so good. And, you know, they didn't just have the hands buff. They apparently had the side buff because it was 100% blue side victory today across the board. Deep Cross beat Impunity. MFT beat Dewish. CFO beat Megabank Beyond Gaming. PSG Talon beat Sem9, and now Frank beat J-Team. So, blue side OP?
I do think that we are seeing a couple of, like, drafting traps coming out. The Zeri blind pick has been just tremendous today. I think all three of the Zeri games
just
did
find
a win. Yeah, I don't think there's a great counter to Zeri in this patch. You should ban it if you can here. And coming into the standings, congratulations to PSG Talon. They once again locked themselves into playoffs because your team in Sem9 can't actually overtake them anymore here.
Yeah, hot on their heels though. You got CFO, you got Deep Cross Gaming. I think they're looking to lock in as well, and some pretty solid win streaks from those two. But J-Team, they're gonna have to wait a little while longer. Meanwhile, Frank Esports and Beyond Gaming, they're tied at 7-5, and MFT's not even far behind that. Let's take a look though, because coming into week 5 next week, starting Friday the 29th of July, we'll see J-Team taking on MFT, hoping to rebound from that one. CFO still flying high, but now they got to take on Frank Esports, who are looking good themselves, and Dewish Team, who have found some edges as well, are going to be going up against Impunity, then Deep Cross versus Sem9, and PSG versus Megabank Beyond Gaming to close out the day. That is sure to be a banger.
Dewish Team versus Impunity for me actually has the most implications in terms of the standings. The rest of the matches are kind of, you know which way are going to go, but if Impunity cannot hold their standings against Dewish Team, that actually will be a swap. We will see Do-ish Team improve to the same score of 3-3 right now. Both teams 3-3 in wins.
I think you made that prediction, but we're going to have to wait a week to find out. That is us done and dusted for week number 4. So, from all of us, Carry Live, Riot Games, Garena, and, of course, us casters on the broadcast, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Be good to each other. See you then.